pull off all the spark plug wires. Be careful the evap line. You don't want to break it, and it's kind of like a hard plastic. I was thinking of disconnecting it, but it's not going to really, you can't really bend it out of the way. Once you disconnect it, it's still going to be kind of in the way. Use a 10mm socket to take those 4 bolts out. I'm also going to disconnect the map sensor connector. Makes it a little easier too if you use an extension. Then just lift off the coil pack, and then you got to disconnect the connector. To undo this connector, the gray part is a lock, and you have to slide it back. What you have to do is get a screwdriver in between the gray and the black plastic of the lock, the gray of the lock tab, and just keep working one side back and then the other side back until you can push down on the center tab in the middle right there. Then you can press down on that, and what it does, it hooks on this. It hooks on this right here. So you have to press down, and that lifts up, and then you can pull the connector out. The reason I'm doing all this is because I'm replacing the spark plugs. This car is what, 18 years old, 19 years old. It's never had the spark plugs replaced, and I've already got the front 3 replaced. I'm also doing the plug wires too. And to get the caps off, you just got to you got to twist them. The cap has actually have to spin on the spark plug, and then you can just pull it right off. If you just tug on them, they're never going to come off. Well, they might, but so I have to take this plate, the mounting plate for the coils, off too. 2 bolts down in the back, or 2 nuts, are 13mm. Everything else is 10mm, and I had to bring out the 3/8 inch socket, and I have this one extension. It allows the socket to tilt a little bit. Had to use the shorter version of the extension. Then there's also a 10mm bolt right there for the fuel rail. You have to undo. Looks rusted. And another 10mm bolt right there for the fuel rail. Also the bank 2 aux sensors connected to the coil plate, or whatever, coil mounting bracket. And it's got a lock. It's got a lock on the, you gotta pull that out and then flip that lever up to disconnect the cable. But I'm gonna have to disconnect, I'm gonna have to, oh, it slides off, that's right. See down the bottom part here? Because unconnecting that's not gonna do anything, because the female part is connected to the aux sensor, and that's also connected to the mounting plate. So this right there, there's like a lever. I think you have to pry up on the end, either end. One, I think it's that back end, and then you can just slide it off. Here's the bank 1 sensor. So what you have to do is, see the one end, it's got like a, see this one end, it's got like a lip. And the other end's got The other end's got that lock tab, and you have to pull the black tab down and then slide the sensor to the right. So what you have to do is flip that sensor down. See that tab? See that right there? Yeah, pull the tab down so you can slide this off, because that's holding it, that little triangle piece of plastic. And then once you slide that off, you can just, the plate's ready to, the mounting bracket's ready to come out. And you also have to you have to open up the spark plug wire harness and take the spark plug wires out. I forgot how these come apart. I think that's like the hinge. And then take another look. I think there's like a tab down at the bottom there. I think I have to push that in. Maybe. So you unlock this by sticking your screwdriver down there and prying like that, and it pops up. See, it's got like a little, see that lock tab. So when you pry this, when you pry this back this way, it allows that to pop up. Then this is the last, I promise. So you got to undo the harness for it goes to the alternator. Or as I call it, the nadir. And what you have to do is, see that little tab right there? Wait a minute, that's not. Yeah. That little tab right there, you gotta get a pick and lift it up, and then you can pull the wire tie back out. See, there's the wire tie right there. It's been cut off. See, that's the wire tie right there. And that's holding it, that little tab underneath. So you gotta push it to the right, because what that does, that hooks in the little grooves on the wire tie. So there's the pick I used, and see, it's pulled the and then when I just reinsert this back in just like it was new. And that saves a lot of wire ties, because you can reuse a lot of wire ties again. I mean, I wouldn't use it on something that's really critical. I'd use a brand new one. I bought something, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but it had two. It was sent to me, or either that or something I bought at Harbor Freight. And it had two gigantic wire ties around it. They were like 2 feet long and about maybe, oh, I don't know, almost a ½ inch wide. And I did that, I undid them, and I've got them both. I mean, they're like, if you went to the store, they'd probably be a couple bucks a piece. Probably have to buy a whole bunch of them though. I lied. There's one more connector. It's for the wires that go down to the spark plugs in the back. So you have to undo that too. And then the spark plug wires, to get the boots off, what you do is just keep turning them. A lot of times you hear a click where they're breaking loose. There's a metal connector inside the cap, and then the spark plug has a metal top, and that's what I think a lot of times that's what happens is they seize on there. I mean, he's been in here like 19 years, so you just keep twisting him. Once you hear it like snap, you may have to turn it a couple more times, then they come off. Okay, it's out. See how the see, that's for the O2 sensor. See, it slides on there. And what you're doing is pulling this down so that it goes over the top of that little triangle on the female part of the connector. And then there's the wire, and then this. I think I have some of these that are new anyway if I had to cut it. And I got the 3 back. Like I said, I did the front. I just haven't replaced the wires or put the plugs in. But you just keep twisting and pulling. If you just keep twisting, you can twist them like around 360 degrees and back again. Just keep doing that and tugging a little bit. I got them all off in 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. They look like something that goes on my cousin's cow milking machine. So I've got all the got one last spark plug right there to take out. Replaced them all. That's the last one right there. And you know, I mean, it's pretty much, once you get the boots off, it's pretty much, when I use compressed air, I use compressed air to blow out around the spark plugs. But my opinion about that is that I think with the front ones are the ones you really have to worry about, because I think they get a lot of, you know, stuff splashed up there from the road. The back ones aren't quite as bad. But also another chain of thought is that it's a pretty small hole that they go into. You know, that has the spark plug threads at the end, spark plug hole. And I think with the boot on there, I think it's like sealed up. I don't think anything can. Although after I did pull off my plugs on the front, a lot of crap came out when I sprayed the air in there. But you know, I'd still use, after you pull the boots off, I'd still do some. So here's the other one right there. There's the one I just put in. I think they're iridium or something like that. And I thought this one's gonna be difficult. It's under the. It's almost under the alternator, or the nadir as I call it. I thought that one was going to be really difficult, but it wasn't. Turned out it was not. I mean, it's just pretty much, you know, removing a spark plug. I mean, if you've never removed a spark plug, and I mean, this may be not the car to do your first time, I don't know. I mean, the first car I had was, what was the first, oh, the first car I had was a truck. It was a Ford F-250. Nice truck, but the motor leak, it was like a 390 or something like that, and it leaked oil everywhere, and you couldn't stop it from leaking. That's the worst part. But oil was cheap then. You get a quart of oil for like $1. I mean, really good oil, like castor oil, 1020 or 1040 or whatever it used, or 1030. I can't remember, but you get like I could get a case of castor oil, you know, 1 quart cans for like $12, $15, something like that. It was unbelievable. That was back in the late 70s. Of course, $1 then was probably like $3 an hour, $4. So you can't really figure stuff out too by that. You have to figure out like how many hours you had to work to get something. Yeah, it doesn't work if you try to think of it like, you know, it was $1 then, it's $3 now. It's worth, I mean, $1 worth $1 then, it's worth $3. $1's worth $3 now. What you have to do is figure how many hours you had to work to get like buy a refrigerator or something like that. You know, I remember I had a motorcycle. I remember going and getting, that was my first vehicle, my own first vehicle. I had a car before that. It was one of my parents, but my own first vehicle that I actually bought was a motorcycle. And I could go to the gas station with $5. I could go to the gas station, fill it up, get a pack of cigarettes. I smoked then. I quit smoking when I was 20. I haven't smoked for 40 some years, 45 years or more. No, about 45 years. And I could get a pack of cigarettes. They were like 60 cents or 35 cents. They were 35 cents a pack. And so I could fill up the motorcycle, get a pack of cigarettes, and go to Gino's, which was a hamburger, really good hamburger. It was named after, it was a football player, Gino something. I can't remember his name. But I could for $5 I could go eat dinner, get a pack of cigarettes, and fill up my motorcycle. The 70s were fun. There's any crud down in there? So I got the last one in. So much has changed about smoking cigarettes. I remember I had an uncle who was, he was fat, maybe almost obese. His doctor told him to start smoking cigarettes to lose weight. That was back in the mid-60s. Okay, now I have to get the wires on, put everything back together. So I got all the spark plugs in. Time to put everything back together. So you want to make sure when you put the coil rack in, or whatever, coil, I forgot what I called it before, but anyway, when you put it back in, you make sure you don't have any wires trapped underneath or anything like that. And so I did have the back wires, their second bank wires, second cylinder bank wires. They were all still connected in that one connector. So I just went and first what I did is I took all the wires out of the box and I laid them out from largest to small. When I opened the box up, I saw number 4 on one of the wires. I said, oh great, they're numbered, but they all say number 4 on them. So what I would do is lay all the wires longest to the shortest, and then just pick your wires. Like for the back ones are the crucial ones. And so I just took one out at a time and measured it to the correct wire, what I think is the correct wire. And there's something else I wanted to say. I can't remember what it was. I can't think of what it was. And when you take this one bolt that holds the bracket on, this is in the way, the fuel line. So it may be better when you're taking this apart to take the fuel line bolts out, the fuel rail bolts out, or just loosen that one and then take the other one out, or just take them both out so you can slide this back, out of the way. And it makes it easier to take it out and then to put it back in. Where's 3? Well, there it is, all done. And a couple of notes. When you put actually, you don't really need to remove, the only time you need to remove the coils, I believe, is if the coils are bad. If you're doing spark plugs, the second bank, you can remove the whole bracket with the coils attached to it. And there's probably a much easier way to work on this, because what I did is I forgot to connect the down to the bottom part of the bottom part of the bracket. There's a clip to clip the wires to the spark plug wires, and I forgot to put that in there, so I had to take the whole thing out. And I didn't take the coils off. All I did was take the 4 bolts in the corners, and then the bolts that hold the fuel rail in, and then I undid the alternator, because that wire, you couldn't slide this forward. You couldn't slide it forward because that wire was going across there. So I just took the wire and put it over here, and so that would save a lot of time. So I had to undo all the bolts, so you know, the fuel rails, the 4 bolts holding the bracket on, but I didn't remove the coils, and I had also undid the negative cable on the battery, because I think that this is connected to the battery, right directly to the battery through a fuse. It's either a circuit breaker or like a 30 amp fuse or something, and there's also 12 volts on that too, which goes through, I think, a 10 amp fuse or so. Then that's what it senses the battery's voltage at. So that's why you get 14 volts. If the battery drops and it sees like 9 volts, it knows to keep charging. So that's all in all, that's pretty much encompasses the whole thing. And it gave me dielectric grease to put on the inside of the boots. Have you noticed that there's only 3 coils and it's a 6-cylinder? So what I was thinking is that there's cylinder pairs where 2 cylinders are a top dead center and they're assigned to 1 coil, and then another, like this happens like every 120 degrees, so that makes 360. So each 120 degrees there's a cylinder pair at top dead center, but only one of them is at the compression stroke. The other one's probably on the exhaust stroke. But anyway, so the car computer fires both plugs, but only one receives it, which is on the compression stroke. That's another issue I'm having. That's the sensor for the ambient lights. You can turn it off. You can turn it off through the command center, the ambient light sensor. But what happened was this whole piece here is detachable. You have to take off the pillars, pop that out, and there's a 7mm bolt on each side. And then once you take those off, that unsnaps. And there's like a grill underneath of it, or some kind of a, I don't know, duct that funnels the hot air across the whole windshield. Well, that was broken. And you know, I looked on it has like where it screws in it, I don't know how to, like, there's a clip or something that you put the lamp in, not the lamp but the sensor, and then you turn it and it locks it in. And a lot of them I have to look online, see if I can find out exactly what it is, but there's nothing on the other side of that hole. And a lot of them, it shows that there's it's like a box that's, you know, it's got those metal plastic rivets that are melted. It's held on there, and you screw that into it. But what I think happened was that that grill that's underneath it was mounted on that, and then you put this down over top of it, and that's broken. It's all broken up and everything, and you know, I guess it just gets brittle because this car is like 19 years old, and so the only and what happened is it dropped down inside there. So I didn't know, but I don't know how long I've been driving around with my headlights on, you know. And then what happened was one of the headlights burnt out, and I was looking at it, I thought it was during the day, and I thought it was a DLR. And so I took the lamp out, and I was expecting like a 3157 lamp, and it was a halogen lamp. And I said, what the heck's going on? I started thinking about it, and I said, oh, you know what? The headlights have been on all this time. I don't know how long it's been like that. Been driving around. No one told me. None of the neighbors said, hey, you know, you got your headlights on during the day. So that'll be a whole nother video.